Dear brothers and sisters, have you ever asked yourself, why did this person leave my life? Why did a friendship break without warning? Why did someone you trusted suddenly disappear? And why did it hurt so deeply? Sometimes the pain is not from the loss itself, it is from the confusion. You keep replaying memories, questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong. But listen carefully. Not every departure is a punishment. Some departures are protection. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not remove people randomly. When Allah removes someone from your life, it is never accidental. It is intentional. It is measured. And most importantly, it is mercy. Even if it arrives wrapped in pain, there are people who enter your life as lessons, not lifetimes. They walk with you for a season, not the entire journey. When their purpose is fulfilled, Allah gently or sometimes painfully removes them because keeping them would harm your heart, your faith, or your future. Sometimes Allah removes people because they are blocking your growth. You don't notice it while they are there. You feel attached, you feel comfortable. But comfort can quietly stop you from becoming who Allah wants you to be. Certain people keep you stuck in old habits, old mindsets, old wounds. Allah loves you too much to let you remain stagnant. And sometimes Allah removes people because they are draining your Iman. You may not realize it at first. Slowly your prayers become weaker. Your peace disappears. Your heart feels heavy after interacting with them. Not everyone who smiles with you wants good for your soul. Allah sees what you cannot see. He hears conversations you never heard. He knows intentions you never imagined. When Allah removes someone, He is saying, trust me, I see danger where you see attachment. There are also times when Allah removes people to teach you self-worth. You may have been overgiving, overloving, and undervaluing yourself. You tolerated disrespect in the name of patience. You accepted emotional wounds in the name of loyalty. Allah allows separation to remind you, you are not meant to beg for love, approval, or respect. True patience does not mean enduring abuse. True patience means trusting Allah. When He closes doors, you were too afraid to close yourself. And yes, sometimes Allah removes people because they were never meant to stay. You forced the connection through dua, effort, and tears. But Allah knew the ending would destroy you. So He ended it early, before it ruined your heart completely. Understand this deeply. Allah never takes something away unless He plans to replace it with something better or protect you from something worse. You may say, but I loved them. Allah replies, I loved you more. You may say, they understood me. Allah replies, I understand you fully. You may say, I feel alone now. Allah replies, good, now come closer to me. Sometimes Allah removes people so that you finally turn back to Him. When you were relying on others, your reliance on Allah was weak. When they were present, you forgot to make dua with sincerity. Their absence becomes the reason your prayer mat feels different. Your tears feel real, and your connection with Allah becomes stronger than ever before. Do not underestimate the blessing of solitude when Allah chooses it for you. Some of the strongest believers were shaped in moments of isolation, heartbreak, and loss. That emptiness you feel, it is not meant to be filled by another human immediately. It is meant to be filled by Allah, and sometimes Allah removes people as a test of trust. Will you chase what left you, or will you trust the one who removed it? Will you keep knocking on doors Allah closed, or will you walk toward the doors He is opening? Remember, if someone was truly written for you, no force on earth could remove them from your life. And if someone was not written for you, no effort of yours could make them stay. Let go without resentment. Let go without bitterness. Let go knowing that Allah's plan is always cleaner than our emotions. Make dua for those who left, but do not anchor your heart to what Allah has already released. One day you will look back and thank Allah for removing certain people. You will see how your peace returned, how your faith strengthened, how your standards rose, how your heart healed. What feels like loss today may be your greatest protection tomorrow. So if Allah removed someone from your life, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is Allah saving me from? And walk forward, lighter, wiser, and closer to Him. Allah removes people as protection, not punishment. When someone leaves your life, it is often Allah saving you from harm you cannot see, emotional, spiritual, or future damage. Have you ever felt the pain of someone leaving your life unexpectedly? Perhaps a friend you trusted, a relative you loved, or someone you thought would always be there suddenly disappeared. At first, it feels like a punishment. You wonder, why me? Did I do something wrong? Was I not good enough? Your heart aches, your mind is restless, and your soul questions everything. But the truth is far deeper than what we see on the surface. Sometimes what appears as a loss is actually the most beautiful form of mercy. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, removes people from our lives not to hurt us, but to protect us. We live in a world where we often cannot see what is harmful and what is safe. We attach ourselves to people based on familiarity, love, and comfort, but Allah sees beyond what our eyes can witness. He knows the intentions that people hide, the dangers that linger behind smiles, and the emotional or spiritual damage that may lie ahead. And so when someone is removed, it is not because you are being punished, but because Allah is protecting your heart, your mind, and your soul from what could harm you in ways you do not yet understand. Sometimes the protection is subtle. Perhaps the person would have led you down a path of bad habits, distractions, or despair. Perhaps their presence would have weakened your Iman, your faith, or your trust in Allah. Allah knows this before you ever do. He knows the consequences before they arrive, and He acts with wisdom and care, removing that person before the damage becomes permanent. While our hearts may cry in confusion, the reality is that Allah is saving us from pain we cannot yet comprehend. Other times, the protection is more immediate. Maybe the person's intentions were not pure. Maybe their presence was draining your energy, your optimism, or your hope. Sometimes we hold on to people because of emotional attachment without realizing that the very attachment is a weight that keeps us from growing, learning, and becoming the best version of ourselves. Allah removes such people to lighten the load on our hearts, to give us space to heal, and to allow us to focus on what truly matters, our connection with Him, our spiritual growth, and the people who bring genuine goodness into our lives. It is important to understand that protection does not always feel like a blessing at the moment. When someone leaves, our immediate reaction is pain, anger, confusion, and sometimes even resentment. We question our worth, we question Allah, and we question the fairness of life. But this is precisely the test, the moment when your trust in Allah is challenged. Can you believe that He is acting out of love for you, even when you cannot yet see the benefit? Can you hold on to your faith, even when your emotions scream otherwise? That is the heart of tawakkul, trusting Allah completely, knowing that He knows better than you ever could. Reflect on the times when you later understood why someone's absence was necessary. Perhaps their departure opened doors that you could never have opened alone. Perhaps their leaving gave you peace you did not realize you were missing. Perhaps their absence pushed you closer to Allah, to prayer, to self-reflection, and to understanding the value of patience and reliance on Him. The separation that once felt unbearable became a shield, a blessing, and a mercy. This is the essence of Allah's protection. What feels like loss today may very well be your salvation tomorrow. So when someone leaves your life, do not rush to label it as rejection, betrayal, or punishment. Pause, reflect, and remind yourself that Allah's wisdom is greater than your understanding. He removes certain people to protect you from pain, to safeguard your heart, and to prepare you for something far better. Instead of dwelling on hurt or resentment, use the space to strengthen your faith, deepen your connection with Allah, and embrace the lessons that this removal brings. Trust that every person who leaves is part of a greater plan. Trust that Allah sees what you cannot see. And trust that His protection is a mercy, wrapped in timing, love, and wisdom. When you finally look back, you will understand that what felt like a loss was, in truth, a gift a shield from harm, a reminder of your worth, and a call to rely fully on the one who never abandons you. Some people are lessons, not lifetimes. Not everyone is meant to stay forever. Allah allows certain people to walk with you only for a season to teach you growth, patience, and self-worth. Have you ever held on to someone so tightly, believing they were meant to stay forever, only to realize one day that their time in your life was never permanent? We often forget that not everyone who enters our lives is meant to walk with us until the end. Some people come for a reason, some for a season, and some for a lifetime. Allah places people in our path to teach us lessons. Lessons about patience, humility, love, trust, and even boundaries. These people shape our hearts, test our faith, and help us grow. But their purpose is never to remain indefinitely. When we are young, we often believe that love, friendship, and loyalty should last forever. We equate attachment with permanence. But life has a way of showing us that permanence is not always the goal. Some relationships are designed to teach us how to handle hurt gracefully, how to forgive sincerely, and how to release with dignity. When Allah allows someone to leave, it is not a failure on your part. It is a divine reminder that your growth cannot always coexist with their presence. Sometimes holding on to someone beyond their purpose only prevents you from stepping into the blessings Allah has prepared for you. There are people who test your patience, challenge your values, or reveal weaknesses you didn't know existed. These people are not meant to stay forever. They are meant to teach you resilience, to show you where your boundaries should be, and to remind you of your self-worth. Without them, you may never have realized the strength of your heart or the depth of your faith. You may never have learned how to trust Allah completely or how to rely on Him when human support fails. These people, even if they cause pain, are instruments of growth, tools through which Allah molds your character. It is important to understand that when someone leaves, it does not mean that what you had with them was worthless. Every smile, every conversation, every shared moment was part of the plan. Allah allows certain people into your life to prepare you for what is coming, to teach you lessons you cannot learn alone. Sometimes they show you how to love, sometimes they show you how to let go, and sometimes they show you what you deserve. Their departure is simply the natural end of a chapter that had a purpose but was never meant to write your entire story. We often struggle with acceptance because we are emotionally attached. We focus on the pain of loss, the emptiness of absence, and the longing for what once was. But the true beauty lies in understanding that Allah is teaching you something deeper. He is teaching you that life is not about clinging to people, but about embracing growth. He is teaching you that every person who enters and exits your life leaves a mark, and that mark is meant to guide you, not to anchor you in despair. Sometimes the lesson is subtle. Perhaps a friend's harsh words taught you compassion. Perhaps a betrayal showed you the importance of trusting Allah rather than relying solely on humans. Perhaps a loss revealed your inner strength and resilience. These lessons, though painful, are invaluable. They are the stepping stones that elevate your soul, shape your character, and prepare you for a better chapter. When someone leaves, Allah is not punishing you. He is clearing the way for your personal growth and spiritual maturity. It is also important to remember that not every lesson comes with closure that we desire. Sometimes the person leaves without explanation, without apology, and without reconciliation. This is part of Allah's wisdom. He teaches patience, trust, and contentment through uncertainty. He reminds you that your peace does not depend on others, but on your connection with Him. When you understand this, you no longer fear loss because you recognize that every person's role in your life is temporary except for the one who is eternal. So when someone exits your life, instead of holding on with bitterness or regret, reflect on the lesson they brought. Be thankful for the growth, the awareness, and the wisdom you gained. Recognize that some people were never meant to stay, but their presence was never wasted. Each interaction, each bond, and each goodbye serves a purpose in shaping you into the person Allah intended you to be. In the end, understanding that some people are lessons, not lifetimes, allows your heart to release with peace. It allows your soul to grow stronger, your faith to deepen, and your connection with Allah to flourish. What feels like loss today is often the preparation for something far greater tomorrow. The departure of certain people is not the closing of a door, but the opening of your heart to trust Allah's plan, embrace His wisdom, and walk forward with grace, understanding, and hope.